Robbery, baby.
Got it.
Yo, guys, it's your boy the Purist, and we have a very special interview. We've got former world champion Regis Prograis. How you doing, champ?
I'm chilling, bro. Regis Prograis.
Regis, yeah. Sorry.
Regis Prograis. Regis
Right.
Prograis. Yeah.
This is one I've been looking forward to for a long time. I've been a fan of this guy for I think since back to 2015. Um, I remember I had seen a lot of your fights on, them small hall shows. You're one of those fighters that I really admire because a lot of fighters come out with the amateur pedigree or the Olympic background where they just get that foot up in the game. But you really had to grind hard and fight on all those small hall shows. So how was that whole process and how do you think that shaped you as a fighter?
Yeah, bro. Back in them days, it was hard. You know what I'm saying? I had the hard way to come up, bro. I had a real hard way. If you, I'm glad you know a little bit of my story. You know what I'm saying? So like, really, like my first, I didn't get signed until like after my 10th fight. And yeah, my 10th fight, that's when I got signed. I officially got signed by a big promoter. And up to that point, bro, I came out I fought in Olympic trials, and then after that, like I turned pro. And my first like 10 fights, bro, like most of them fights, I didn't get paid. Like I'm talking about $0, didn't get paid. I was a professional and I didn't get paid, and when I did get paid, it was a little small amount of money, So for me, I just had a hard road, bro. And but it shaped me as a fighter, like because like they had a lot of people in the gym that they had managers at the time that was giving them money, monthly stipends and all that stuff. And me, I mean, bro, I'll be in the gym with these dudes and I'll be whooping their ass bad. And it's like these dudes, they get monthly stipends, and I had to work. Like I had a job for a long time, and it's like, bro, how these dudes getting this money? I mean, some dudes was getting 5,000 a month, and for me at that time, that was a whole lot of money at the time. $5,000 a month. I mean, bro, I used to make like $1,000 a month at my job or whatever. So I was like broke or whatever. So, and I'm like, damn, like how is these dudes, getting this money? But it just made me go harder in the gym. And yeah, bro, that was the main thing. It made me go harder in the gym. Just kept grinding because I knew I was better than these dudes. Like I'll be in a gym sparring with these dudes that's and they getting these big stipends every month, and I'm not getting nothing. And it's like, all right, and I'm whooping them. So I kept going, bro. I just kept going, and now I'm here.
You said you signed to a big promoter. Was that Lou DiBella at the time?
That's when I signed to Lou DiBella. Yeah, Lou DiBella picked me up after my 10th fight, but then I had like one more fight already like signed. So then I fought after him, like with him after my 11th fight.
Yeah, and I think your big breakthrough on Showtime came against I think Joel Diaz Jr. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There's one of them. So I fought I think 4 or 5 times on Showbox, and the first fight, I mean, it was all tough fights. Like the first fight, I fought a dude named Amos Cohort, and like, I mean, he was like a big knockout puncher, and I had like a lot of knockouts and stuff. But at that time, I actually got sick right before the fight, and so I did knock him out. But I think I broke like a Showbox record for like punches strong. Like I threw like over 1,000 punches in like 8 rounds, and so people's like, damn, like he's a volume puncher. He's not really a too much of a power punch. And then after that, I fought Abel Ramos. Now Abel Ramos, he's a pretty good name right now at 147. But I fought him, and he was actually expected to beat me, and I just destroyed Abel Ramos. I beat him up real bad, and he was bleeding, cut, all that stuff, and I stopped. I ended up stopping him. So then after that, I fought somebody else, and I stopped him in like the first round. Then after that, I fought somebody else, and then of course, then I think the Joe Diaz fight happened, and he was expected to beat me, and then of course I stopped him too. So yeah, bro. And then I think that was one of my big breaks with Joe Diaz, and then I think after that when it was like Julius Undango, and then
Yeah.
I stopped him, and then of course, then I really, people really started paying attention to who I was.
So I remember that Joe Diaz fight because, like you said, he was expected to beat you. But I had watched you and I had watched him, and I said, yo, obviously you're both prospects, and sometimes when you read a prospect, sometimes you're completely wrong about them. But I was like, if you are who I
Mhm.
thought you was gonna knock him out, yeah. But I had bet money on that fight, and you had won me money. But even me, who had bet on you to win, I didn't think you'd knock him out in the second round. I thought it'd go a
Right.
few rounds. Like you just completely just dominated him. Did you know the fight would go that smoothly?
Um, I mean, yeah, I felt like I mean, I just was on my mindset was just like, man, I gotta run through these dudes, that was it. Just my mindset was like, I gotta run through them. And I just know people not gonna take my power, bro. Like most people not gonna take these punches. Like if I'm hitting people clean, they're not like a 140-pound fighter, they're not gonna take my punches. If I'm boxing and I'm punching people clean and I'm like fighting like especially fighting like I fought Joe Diaz because I was real powerful and I was real slick at the same time. Like people, they not gonna take that. 140-pound fighter, they not taking that. And I felt like as soon as I hit him flush, that was it. And if you go back and watch that fight, like I stopped him in the second round, but it really started in the first round. In the first round, I was moving, he was swinging, and like right at the bell, right before the bell, I hit him with a body shot. I hit him with a left hand body shot right in the middle, and it hurt him. And then he kind of walked back to the corner hurt. And I looked at him and I was like, I told my trainer, he's hurt. And my trainer was like, he didn't really know, but I knew he was hurt. I'm like, when somebody hurt, bro, I'm like a shark. Like I'm going to eat their ass. You know what I'm saying? So I saw him hurt. And then the second round, then I got on him and that was it.
Yeah, it was very good to see. And then I think, yeah, like you said, the next fight was Julius Ndongo, former unified champion. He had fought Crawford, and you put in a real statement performance in that fight as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest statement up to that point because yeah, Joe Diaz was a good fighter, but Julius Sandaga was like a unified champion. And I stopped him. Then of course he fought Crawford for all the belts and he lost in the third round. And I ended up stopping him in the second round. So that was a big statement on my part.
Yeah, and I think at that point, correct me if I'm wrong, you was mandatory for WBC, right?
I was I think I was, yeah. And no, so what happened was, yeah, I was mandatory for the WBC, and then of course I did the tournament thing. I
Yeah.
went over there and I signed up for that tournament.
But why I wanted to say that is because I remember at the time, obviously we know Don King and the WBC, they have their ties, and they somehow got I think was it Saddam Ali?
It was a mere mind.
Yeah, Mir Mom. They somehow got him the mandatory title fight.
Ramirez.
How did you feel when that happened?
I just felt kind of played, but at the same time, I just know it's politics. So all right, I'm gonna tell you how it happened, right? So I had went to the WBC convention. I went to Azerbaijan at the time, and it was Ramirez was number one. I was number two. Um, what's his name? Amir Mile was number three, and Victor Postal was number four. And so they ordered number one and number three to fight for the real belt, and they ordered number two and number four to fight for the WBC Diamond belt. So Ramirez and Amir Mine ended up fighting for the official WBC belt. And me, I was number two and number four, I was supposed to fight Victor Postal for the WBC Diamond. Of course, Victor Postal, he ended up pulling out. He ended up having a hurt thumb or something like that. So he ended up pulling out. And so then stepped in Julius Ondango. So that's when I won the WBC. Yeah, the not the Diamond, the interim. The interim.
Yeah, and I think you versus Ramirez was a fight that I really wanted to see. Both of you can found it inside. Both of you have power, and I thought I would get the opportunity in the World Boxing Super Series. How did you feel when you didn't want to enter that tournament?
I mean, I feel like I knew he wasn't gonna do it. His manager, bro, they was trying to evade. They didn't want no parts of me. They never wanted no parts of me. I just for a long time they just kind of ducked and dodged me for a long time, and then they waited for me to go in a tournament, and they kind of did their thing outside the tournament. So yeah, that was just it. I just felt like they ducked me and dodged me all around. So maybe it might happen again now. I mean, because we kind of on the same path again, chasing the title again. So maybe me and him, we might actually, we might fight each other.
That's what I was about to ask you because it's still a fight I want to see. You're both, I mean, you both lost to Josh Taylor, but you're still both at their very elite level at that weight. Other than Josh Taylor, I wouldn't put anyone against either of you guys to really even give you guys problems. I think it's a fight. As fans, I think we all really want to see it, and it's good to know that at least one half of the equation is down for it. So yeah,
Right.
let's talk through the World Boxing Super Series. I think I can't remember who your first fight was. Was that the Red Catch fight?
No, Red Cats wasn't. I fought Terry Flanagan. That was my
Oh
first
yeah,
fight.
it
Terry
was.
Flanagan. Then I fought. Then that was for the WBC Diamond Belt, and then after that, I fought for the official WBA title. I fought Relic, and that's when I won the belt. And then of course, then Josh Hill was the last fight.
Yeah, I remember in the build-ups to the Josh Taylor fight. In my camp, I was literally the only one giving you any credit. But I told the boys, I was like, listen, this fight here, yeah, whatever happens, it's gonna be a close competitive fight. I'm picking Prograis, but
Right.
whatever happens, is gonna be a close competitive fight. And it proves to be. I'm not gonna name names, but one of them actually scored the fight a draw. Uh, but
Mhm.
obviously we're British and everyone's got to say what they got to say. But yeah, one of them scored it a
Yeah,
draw.
it's fine.
How did you feel about the
Right.
fight overall?
I still felt like I won the fight. I'm not. I just it was a close fight. I still felt like I did enough to win the fight, but it was close. And at the end of the day, it was his night. I mean, I did a lot of things. I felt like I did a lot of things wrong. I should just box. Like I didn't. I went there and just want to fight him, and I should just. If I would have boxed, it would have been an easy night. But it was just his night that night, and that's all. But at the end of the day, I still felt like even with all the stuff I did wrong and fighting like I did, I still felt like I won the fight. I mean, the punch stats, of course, you can't go by punch stats, of course. I can't say you go by punch stats and stuff, but I outlanded him, outjabbed him, I outdid him in every category. And like I said, I still felt like I won the fight. So that's all.
I know both of you have plans to move up to 147 in the future. Is that a rematch you'd like to have up there?
Yeah, I think so. I think me and him have to fight each other. Like we have to have a rematch before everything is said and done. And it might come years later. You never know. It might be a huge fight later for us down the line. So we'll see. But my goal right now is to chase be a champion again at 140. And then once I'm a champion again, then I'll kind of just like see what my decision is, see what my options are. I mean, maybe I like stay at 140 and get a big fight, or maybe go up to 47 and try to fight him again. So it depends.
Yeah, I think after that fight you had a comeback fight, and then you fought Ivan Redkach. And that fight had a bit of controversy in it, and it was only controversial because Redkach tried some underhanded tactics, tried to sort of get away with one there. Do you want to comment on that fight?
I mean, it was kind of a bullshit fight, to be honest. I mean, listen, bro, I sparred with Ivan, in a gym, so I already knew what type of fighter Ivan was. Of course, I still train hard and stuff like that because even when you spar with people, you still don't know how they fight with those little gloves on and no headgear. It's always different with the little gloves on, no headgear. So you always still got to be careful about that. But like I said, man, we had sparred and stuff, and I was like, bro, I'm gonna whip him. And it was just like the whole Triller card and stuff. It was kind of like a more of an open party vibe. It wasn't like it didn't even feel like a fight type of vibe. It just was like open party. Because I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, I was like me and Ivan was like the only real like real professional fighters that was on the card. They had like rappers. They had of course Jake Paul. They had like there's other dudes and I just all kinds of people on there fighting. And I mean it was a cool event, but it just didn't feel like it was, like serious. Just the whole vibe of everything just didn't feel like it was like it just was like a party vibe.
Would you do another event like that again in the future?
It depends. It all depends on money, bro. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on the bread. You know what I'm saying? Like the money is, we prize fighters, right? So, it all depends on what type of prize they offer.
Yeah. Looking forward now, you've got Tyrone McKenna on the weekend. How much studying have you done on him, and how do you see the fight going?
I mean, I watched them a little bit, because we kind of like when they first brought the name to me, then I watched them a little bit, but I don't really like to watch film too much. I like to kind of get in there and get the feeling once I get in the ring with somebody. Um, of course, I just think I'm gonna beat them. I think I'm gonna whoop them, and it's probably gonna be bad.
To be honest, as a British fight fan, Tyrone McKenna's been around for a long time, and we've
Mm.
seen what he's capable of. We've seen his level, and to be honest, I don't think he's at the quite elite level that you are at. So yeah, I pretty much see it going exactly the same way. For this fight, you've signed with Probellum, right?
Right.
Yeah, how's
hmm
it been working with those guys?
Right now it's cool. I mean, it's my right now everything cool, bro. This is my first fight with them. So it just seemed everything just seemed like it is just real smooth basically. It's just like they kind of got their shit together. They just doing a whole lot of stuff. So it just seems like a good promotion. And yeah, this like I said, this is the first fight. So we're gonna see, what happens after this.
Yeah. How's it been for you out in Dubai, training out there, and obviously you're gonna fight out there as well? How do you feel with the whole vibe out in the Middle East?
I love it out here, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. It's fire. Like Dubai's fire. I came out here before just on like a little vacation. They flew like Bellum and that, my advisor and stuff. They flew me out here. So me and my wife came out here on a little vacation and got to know everybody and meet everybody and stuff. And we stayed for a week. So it's cool. It's like I like it out here a lot. And hopefully they start having some big fights out here. And I think I did an interview earlier and people was talking about maybe Dubai could be a place where they start having big fights. And I think it could be, bro. I mean, because you have, with the American fighters and then with the fighters from the UK, a lot of American fighters they don't want to go to the UK and fight, because they think like, oh, they gonna get screwed and stuff like that, get bad judging. So Dubai could be a fucking place where, you know, it's like a middle ground to where they fight. They fight over here. So I mean, but it's just a nice place. Dubai is a very, very nice place. Training over here is good. It's kind of like my same environment. I train in Texas, so it's real hot, humid out here. So it's kind of like the same type of environment I'm in, but it's cool. I like it.
Talking about UK judging and scoring and that, even to a point where Frank Warren said Fury versus White is not gonna have any British judges. We've seen recently with the Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall fight. Um, what did you make of that judging and that whole fight in general?
It was bad. It was terrible. I mean, I feel bad for Jack. I mean, he's a big loser. Because bro, like he's supposed to be right now, and I'm at his weight class, right? But he's supposed to be the undisputed 140-pound champion right now, undisputed. He's supposed to be that, and he's not because of some judges. Now I can't. I won't call it crooked or I won't call it incompetence. I don't know. I can't really speak on that too much, but Jack Catterall clearly won that fight. He should be the champion right now for sure. He should be the undisputed champion, and he might never get the opportunity ever again in his life. To fight for all four belts. Now he might. I think that he will get a title shot in one of the organizations. He definitely should. But to fight for all four of the belts, he probably never get that shot again in his whole life, and all because of bad judging. And that's just a shame.
Yeah, I don't know if you know the news, but his member of parliament actually brought it to the House of Commons and they've appealed and I think they've even launched a police investigation into the judging of that fight. So
Right? I heard. I don't think it's gonna do nothing. I heard about it. I don't think it's gonna do nothing. I mean, I don't think a police investigation is gonna do anything, but I guess it's good to try, right?
Nah, for real. They've suspended the judge who gave the wide scorecard because he's actually got a history of giving wide scorecards to the whole fighters. So I think once you see
Yeah,
a common trend like that, those kind of judges should get the license taken away. But even then, I remember the judge that gave Golovkin 2 rounds against Canelo, she was suspended, but now she's back judging fights and probably back to her old ways
right.
again. So we don't really know.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's like a show, but then they just let people continue to do what they do.
exactly. So, hey, what can you do about it?
I think Josh Taylor was talking about moving up in weight. He said he was quite weight drained, and we know he puts on so much weight in between fights where he walks around the same size as like welterweights that I know, let alone light welterweight.
Yeah,
So yeah, it must be a tough stretch for him. So it looks like the belts will open up. Have you guys got any plans of like getting high in rankings with certain sanctioning bodies?
yeah. Well, this fight. So Saturday, my fight in McKenna, bro. They made that for the WBC final eliminator. So that means my next fight after this will be for the belt. So yeah, I'll be fighting for the belt the next fight after this. And so that means if and if Josh moves up, that means whoever's in line, whoever's yeah, I'll fight somebody for the belt. So yeah, I'll be fighting. Yeah, hopefully I'll be fighting for that belt. But this is the final eliminator, so that's what that means. Next fight.
Um, with sorry, my mind just went blank. If you could pick three fighters to fight for the title against, who would it be?
I mean, I, well, so it's in line. I think Jose Zepeda's in line. I would like to fight. I always want to fight Jose Ramirez. And for me, the other person, I don't know. I mean, maybe even a Jack Catterall. I'll fight any one of them for the belt. I mean, bro, whoever's in line for me, like whoever they put in front of me for the belt, I'm gonna whoop them. It don't matter who they are. Like I want to get that belt again. I want to be a champion again. Before I do anything else in boxing, I do want to be a champion again. So it don't matter. But I think that who deserves a shot is, of course, like a Zepeda. Zepeda been doing real good. He had a real crazy knockout, a few crazy knockouts, and he been consistent. So I definitely think that he deserves a shot at the belt again. And then of course Jack Catterall, he definitely deserves a shot at the belt again. So for me, whoever they put in front of me, bro, it don't matter. Like I don't care as long as I fight for that belt.
How do you see your fight between you and Catterall going? I was gonna ask you, obviously you're both southpaws, and we saw how much trouble Taylor had with it. But obviously, you don't want to give your game plan away before the fight's even talked about. So, but how would you see the fight playing out? As in, like, would you win by points? Would you stop
Listen,
him?
bro, I think I whoop anybody. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'll beat anybody. So I don't matter who it is, bro. You put me in a, I think I'll beat anybody. I can't, like I said, I won't get you a game plan, nothing like that. But you know, anybody they put in front of me, bro, for that belt, I'm just gonna get through them.
Yeah. All right. Gonna change it a little bit now. Give me your top five favorite fighters of all time. People that influence your style. People that you love to watch.
So you want the best you think, or the top, my
Your
favorite
just
top
your
five, or
favorite, the
just
ones
the
you like to
best?
watch. Yeah.
My favorite, my favorite is Tyson was first. Tyson, Duran, Pernell Whitaker, Muhammad Ali, and wait, my favorite, man, I got so many of them, bro. I think I said what, four of them already, right? And my last one, my last favorite, yeah, probably be like probably Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah. Look, I love asking box that question because at first you wouldn't really know who they're gonna say, but it's like you name Tyson, Pernell, Duran, Robinson, um, and I can see little elements of their style in the way you fight. So then it's like once you say it, it makes
Right,
perfect sense. You know what I mean? Like obviously I'm not saying you go like for like
right,
with those guys, but I can see little bits of each guy in the way you fight.
right,
Um, give me
right.
your top five pound for pound right now.
Top five. Canelo, Crawford, um, who else? I mean, I don't even got the top five, bro. I have to look. I think Usyk number three.
Yeah.
Who else is up there? I will put Errol Spence up there. And number five, I put Clarissa Shields up there.
Yeah. Going to Usyk Joshua, was you shocked by the result of the first fight?
Not really.
No.
Nah, not
You,
really. I felt like, yeah, I mean, Usyk is a good boxer, man. I mean, Joshua, he he should have went out there and just, used his size, use his power advantage. He didn't use his size, bro. So I mean, Usyk is he's a really, really good boxer, and you can't box it. And if Joshua was bigger than him, then go out there and use your size, but he didn't use it. So when I wasn't, I mean, I thought that Joshua was supposed to, he was definitely supposed to win, but the Usyk beating him didn't surprise me at the same time.
no, 100%. Let the people know what's gonna happen Saturday night.
It's gonna be fireworks, bro. I mean, when I go in the ring, I just do me. I do what I gotta do, and like I said, my goal is to be a champion again, and nobody gonna stand my way. So it's nothing against nobody. It's nothing against Tyron McKinnon. It's nothing against nobody. It's just like for me, I'm whoever's in my way of that title, I just gotta run over him, and that's what's gonna happen to him on Saturday.
All right. Any other message you want to give to the fans?
Always keep supporting. Thank y'all, and you can of course, if people really want to see, I got the YouTube channel called Ruger Life TV. So if people want to check that out, you can do that. Go on YouTube, Ruger Life TV, and that's like my I do like an all access type of thing. So right now I got the Road to Dubai Part 1 and Part 2 is out right now. So go check that out, and then you'll see kind of all the behind scenes stuff like what we be doing.
Yeah, I like when fighters do it themselves and not just leave it for the promotional teams. And plus, all the views you get is all the money you get as well, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, yeah, bro, you gotta promote yourself, bro. You know, like if we fighting, once or twice a year, that's the only time, they gonna promote us, the promoter gonna promote us. So, you kind of gotta promote yourself. You just gotta learn how to do it. And, I'm kind of learning little by little. I'm not an expert at it, but I'm kind of learning little by little how to do it. So yeah, like I said, people can follow my YouTube channel, Ruger Life TV, and you'll see. You'll see what we do inside the camp and outside the camp.
No, perfect. All right. Thank you for talking to us, champ. It's been the Purist. It's been Regis Prograis. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.